With threats to our nation waiting around every corner, adaptability is more important than ever. When conditions change without notice, quick strategic thinking is crucial. And with obstacles consistently impending, determination is essential in overcoming them. It's this willingness, decisiveness, and resilience that sets Marines apart. With our fighting spirit, we don't just fight battles, we win them. Marines are the constant our nation counts on to fight the unknown. And through adaptable problem solving, we do just that. Learn more at marines.com.
Hey there! Did you know Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices? And when you download the Kroger app, you'll enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. And don't forget fuel points to help you save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Want to save even more? With a Boost membership, you'll get double fuel points and free delivery. So shop and save big at Kroger today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
This episode is brought to you by Pepsi Wild Cherry. Pepsi Wild Cherry is bursting with delicious cherry flavor and a sweet, crisp taste that gives you more to go wild for. Getting wild may look different these days, but whether it's opting for a solo Friday binge watch or a big night out, everyone can indulge in their wild side with Pepsi Wild Cherry. Also available in Zero Sugar. So grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and welcome to a special episode of Post-Conference Presser for Anfield Index. It's one of those unusual ones, ladies and gents. It's before a European game, Europa, tomorrow, the 5:45 kickoff against Sparta Prague. And funnily enough, it's the one where there's a player and the manager as well. So I'm your normal host, Dave Davis, here to run you through what was said in the Q&A to Alexis McAllister, to Jurgen Klopp, also to talk through the clues from that last-minute unbelievable victory against Nottingham Forest. We'll even talk about Sparta Threats, how I think we'll set up in this one, and score and scorers even in this regard. So, an interesting press conference, punctuated no doubt by the fact who was and wasn't in training at the start. Most importantly, Mo Salah and Kelleher were in training today, which at 12:30 or so the videos came out to put a knock on any rumours, shall we say, that have been going around, especially about the keeper. No Gravenberg, but pretty much everyone else we were hoping to see or expecting to see was there. But let's get into it. The Q&A, it started with Alexis McAllister, the man himself. So, in simple terms, ladies and gents, he got asked about his pals. So his first question was about Dominic Szoboszlai, and what did he say? He said he's an amazing player. He's a nice lad as well. He's doing very well. He's had an injury, but we cannot forget what he brings, and he's important as anyone. He is a special guy. True, eh? He's important. It is so, so important to have Dom back, especially when the midfield options are as stretched, as thin, shall we say, as they've ever been. So, yeah, we've got to be positive to have Dom Szoboszlai back, no doubt about it. Unsurprisingly, when he started asking about his mates, he was going to get asked about Darwin, wasn't he? And he was quite clear on this. So what did he say? He said, my relationship with Darwin is very good since we first met. And you could see the connection off the pitch. And we've seen the mate and everything like that, haven't we? On the pitch, of course, we try and be connected. And that connection has to be important. He's an amazing guy. He's doing very well. And he works very hard. Sometimes I hear people say that I help him a lot, but that's not true. His level is because he works very hard, and that's why he's scoring goals and important for this team. Absolutely. There is a connection between the two. You can see that their pals kicking around. It almost has the feel of McAllister's that older, more wiser, mature brother, as it were. But also they link now on the pitch. I mean, Forest would be easy to say, but you think about that West Ham one, wasn't it? That other chip ball when Nunes reached spectacularly and hooked it past Areola. There's been other occasions, haven't they? They almost look for each other that way on the pitch, and long may that build and continue. And the final question McAllister was asked about, why is he so calm, at those types of moments, was quite honest in typical style, a bit subdued, said, I don't know, I just play football and that's what I like. And this was funny because that's where Jurgen Klopp laughed out loud and said, if it was that easy, I would have done it, because he was sat next to him. I played football for a long time. The experience helps. And for me, it's important to think on the pitch and see where my teammates are. And once you have the ball, to try to make decisions. And I don't know if I look calm or not, but in my brain, it's at 200%. And Jurgen Klopp was wetting himself at this moment. Couple of things on this. I like Alexis McAllister, the way he conducts himself, the whole piece, if you want, around him as well. He is a bit of a wise head on younger shoulders. He's experienced. He comes from a football dynasty. There's so much to like, and he really is the new signing of the season for me, without doubt. Also, our key midfielder on the team sheet. That's the positives. The only real negative I've got of this is I don't really want him to start this one. Just for record, everyone who's joined the boss, shall we say, with the press conferences in this competition has started the game. So the smart money says that whatever you think, Alexis McAllister is now going to start this game. But off he trotted, and obviously it came over to the manager, didn't it? So what was he asked? He was asked about a number of things. He was asked about his Szoboszlai plan and everything that's going on, understandably. He kind of giggled because it was a Hungarian journalist, almost seemed to be wanting to get insight he was never going to get. So he laughed and said, we don't talk about lineups in this press conference. It's good to know that he's back. He loves playing football. Being injured for him is tough. It just wasn't allowed to train properly with his muscle injury. So the reason we had to be careful in his rehab, because if I asked Dom, he could have trained, or said he could have trained, after 2 to 3 weeks. Now he's back. He's played a few minutes. He's in the squad. The rest we will see. You could tell from his interview that before the Carabao Cup with Hungarian TV that he wanted to be back. He was almost annoyed at not playing. Like he said, he thought he was fit. The scans and the experts have said, no, he's not. You can't risk him. And do you know what? For everything that's happened, maybe a bit lucky, you could say, but quite rightly. I mean, we need to be clear. He was one of 3 Liverpool players that had come back and been re-injured within 2 games with the exact same thing. So joining Salah and Trent as well. So it was right to be careful. And there is still a few questions, shall we say, unanswered then. He was also asked 2 questions about Mo, and I understand why they were asked. The big one said, Salah, is he fit? Is he ready? Yeah, Mo travelled with us. He's trained the last 2 days. He's full of energy, and we have to see. It's so good that he's back, and it's really good for us. You can see in his face he's really happy. It's a very unlikely situation for him being out that long and then out again, but that's how it is. We want to be careful. We have to be careful. But it's super intense period of the season and we need everybody. It's just good news. Yeah, I mean, Salah was one of those that got the re-injury, wasn't he? One of those that, you're thinking, please don't be out for long. And I mean, all the things we hope with AFCON, how crazy does that seem? But it was almost seen as a mini positive when he was coming back home early for Egypt, and it's just gone on and on. The re-injury, the small cameo against Brentford. So I get they have to be careful. It was good news that he's been in training for 2 days. Listen, this is a super busy period of the season. You want him against Manchester City. You almost feel if we're going to beat Manchester City, you will need Mo Salah. So really, really important. Then asked a good question, and it was fair to ask this about Egypt, and we've all seen the rumours about them calling him up. So it's nothing to do with me, really. It'll be decided in a different department, and I'm nothing to do with that. I think let's see how long he can play now, and it's only 2 days in team training. In a different situation, players are not in the squad at this moment. But now the situation makes sense, how much we can give him, how much we can use him. But is it 2 games with Egypt? It's not up to me, but that's discussed in other departments. Let's say it like that.
Join us today during the Jeep Celebration event for great deals on Jeep brand SUVs. Right now, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for $429 a month for 39 months with $3,759 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 32,500. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 4/1. Jeep is a registered trademark.
If anyone doubts that Jurgen Klopp has a say or input into something like this, they are absolutely crazy. You know exactly what he's telling the other departments. Let's phrase it like that. And I get it. Jurgen Klopp's trying to almost spin a little bit, put up a narrative of, he needs to be careful, Mo Salah. And I get that in Liverpool's interests. Absolutely understand that. It's going to be the hardest sell to Egypt, isn't it? They're not going to have been happy with us taking him back. We know that clown Mido and others have said something, so they're not happy about that and the optics there. They're also not going to be happy just taking our word from it for their talisman. Yes, it is friendly. They are pointless, and he would love it in Kevin Keegan's style if they did give him that time off. But there is a bit of fraction, let's say it there, between Jurgen Klopp and Egypt, and probably Mo Salah. It's a bit of an awkward situation all round, isn't it? And I would love to believe he's not going, but unfortunately, the smart money says he is. And he is Mo Salah, he is a machine, but that is where the smart money lies. So that was the questions, that was the answers. So now we go to the normal and the Forest clues. If you haven't watched that Darwin Núñez winner, the last-minute winner, 98,000th minute, or whatever Forest fans like to tell you, if you've not watched that a billion times, you're not really a fan, are you? It's just insane watching that goal again and again. Honest thoughts that we normally say on the game. The narrative changes in the last minute. It had the feel of a bridge too far. Too many injuries had taken their toll. Now have to beat City, and just to go control our destiny, etc., etc. We looked tired. We weren't on it. They are not that good a team. They played us on the break, and we relied on Kelleher, didn't we, a few times to save our bacon. Let's not pretend anything different whatsoever. We didn't really create too much with the players on the pitch. And when we talk about people who play their way in and out, the biggest thing is the injuries or the people coming back from injuries, wasn't it? That suppose like Núñez, look at it. You just have a bit of a question mark around people like Gakpo at the moment. He doesn't really seem to be firing. And yes, we've needed him. And yes, he's been overworked. You can argue, I understand that's mitigation, but it's just not happening in these few games. He looks less and less like scoring all the time, I'd say. So that's something to think about. But you've got to give a lot of players passes. They're tired. Joe Gomez playing 6, for God's sake. So we won. And maybe when we say play their way in and out with the injury options, that's all that matters at the moment. So we do talk about the opposition threats, don't we, and what they bring. And I tell you what, Sparta Prague are no mugs. You don't really get mugs at the last 16 stage of the Europa, no matter what anyone says. I mean, they're coming off a derby double, so back-to-back games against Slavia Prague in the Cup and the League. They won the Cup one. They drew in the league, but they do have a 4-point gap at the top. And they're pretty good in their league this season, people. They've scored 55 and they've only conceded 15, 1-5. They've also been they came second in their Europa group, and some good teams in there like Betis, Rangers as well. People will look at Rangers beating them on their patch as an example of why we should be doing well, but nothing's that straightforward. Player-wise, there is a threat, but I'm probably pronouncing this wrong, but the big one people talk about is the Slovakian winger Lukas Harasilin, I think it's pronounced, the left winger, 27 years old. I mean, 10 goals in all competitions, so not bad. In the Europa, more importantly, where people will look, he has got 3 goals in Europe and an assist, so he's been their real threat. And I know there's a few teams rumoured to be taking a look at them, so they're not mugs. Let's just be crystal clear on that. They do play attacking football. They are very much a foot front team. They don't draw too many as well, which is interesting. It's difficult though, isn't it? Because I know they don't play Liverpool week in, week out. And when we say that, we don't know what the full team will be. This does have banana skin potential. It does. The focus is going to be on City. I understand that. People are already starting to think to that game. I know Jurgen Klopp will talk one game at a time, but that's something. This is their World Cup final in essence, isn't it? It's their big game. They probably don't think they'll go through over 2 legs, but they'll be thinking, let's just get something here. Also, Liverpool will not be playing their full-strength team for obvious reasons. So this does have an honest potential, zero doubt about that. Which now brings us to lineup, formation, score, everything like that. So where do we go for this one? The people back in the squad, it's all around for me, I don't care what Jurgen Klopp says, they're thinking about, this is 2 legs, the City game is bigger, it's about tuning people up and appearing strong for City. So how do I think he'll go? I think Kelleher sticks in nets, obviously. Left back, Tsimikas, Gomez and Kwanzaa at centre-half, and Conor Bradley at right-back. Wouldn't surprise me if Konate, VVD got minutes. I'd like to see VVD completely rested. That's just me, but we'll see. But that's what I'm going for. In the middle, I think the press conference game is something away. So I think Maka will start, along with Endo, who needs the minutes. Only came on late, didn't he, against Forest? And Bobby Clark. I don't think you can risk Endo, Szoboszlai and Maka in there. But I think Szoboszlai will naturally come on and get some real minutes again. Up front, tougher this one. Harvey Elliott starts on the right-hand side for me. Cody Gakpo on the left. And Darwin Núñez in the middle. For the reason that I think you give Diaz a little bit of a rest, everything that's going on. But the bench gets a full shuffle. And I mean, I mentioned the defenders, but that still leaves, if you think about it, Szoboszlai, Diaz, Robbo, Mo Salah on the bench. And I suspect all those get on. In simple terms, people, I don't state that lineup with confidence. What I'm focused on is the simple fact that we need to get those players ready for City, not risk anything, but you've already got your team in mind. Do not lie for City. And that will play a factor for me. So that's the reason I've gone Kelleher, Bradley, Gomez, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas, Endo, McAllister, Clark, Elliott, Núñez, Gakpo. That's still strong. There's still real options. Liverpool are still more than capable of getting a result. Which brings us to the final thing, doesn't it? The score and the scorer. For this one, I do think it won't be the easiest game, but I'm going for still a 2-1 victory. And I'm going for Darwin Núñez to be on the score sheet. Hopefully it'd be the winner. That'd be nice as well, especially with his record. And, 6 times he's got the winning goal this season. He's been immense. So I think it would be great just to keep his confidence up. I'd love Mo to get on the score sheet, but I'm trying not to be too greedy. So 2-1 victory and Darwin Núñez to be on the score sheet. That is my prediction. 5:45 tomorrow. So we finish work. We get the game for most people. Safe trip to all the travelling Reds and the travelling cop that's out there as well. I've seen all the things about the travel and making sure you walk in together. So stay safe as ever. But let's hope Liverpool come back with a result, a second leg to play for, and maybe, just maybe importantly, more than anything at the moment, no injuries ahead of the massive game against City on Sunday. And that, ladies and gents, was a European special of Post-Conference Presser.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement. and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Sports Social Podcast Network.